Hi everyone, and welcome to another Thrift Witch haul. Today we have a special guest joining us for the haul video. This is Swizzle. She's not going to be for sale, but if she breaks anything, that could change. Today's items are a small selection of things that I found while at my local thrift store yesterday. You can see them here. As well, I'm going to highlight a few pieces of pottery that I'm going to also be putting up for sale. I've been purging out my collection of Brantford pottery, and these are a few pieces of Brantford or non-Brantford that I'm looking to get rid of. So let's start with what we found at the thrift store. The first item is a bag item. Again, you know how much I like the bags. These are two small pieces of chalkware, cutting boards with tomatoes, and I'm not even sure exactly, there might be pepper, maybe a pepper on them. These are marked. Let me see if I can find it for you. Yeah, it's on here on the side. Miller Studios, 1977. There's a little bit of chipping to the paint on the pieces, but overall, for their age, in great condition. Kind of a cute, kitschy item, you know, for someone's kitchen. Definitely have that 70s vibe. The next item I picked up in the personal section, or maybe the purses. This here is really cute. It's actually a hinged jewelry box. I'm just gonna put it out for you. There you go. So there you can see it's a travel case for your jewelry. So if you have earrings, necklaces, rings, and you want to take them with you, this is something you can pack and take along. It's actually quite serviceable for use right now, I would say. It's nice and sturdy, really cute 70s looking pattern on it. These were made by companies like Sarah Coventry. This one doesn't have a label, so I'm not sure who the maker is, but just a fun little piece that I picked up for, I think, $2. The next item is something that when I go to the thrift store, I go through the aisles rather quickly just to see what highlights I see, and then I do take my time and go back a second or even third time if I have the time to do that. And it was on the third trip through the housewares area that I saw this little guy tucked away on a bottom shelf. This is an awesome apple wall pocket with pixie made by Gilner, California Potteries. This little piece, comparables sell for $20 to $25 online. I'm not going to be selling this little piece. I happen to love pixies, so I'm actually going to be keeping this for myself. I couldn't believe it when I saw it. Things like this don't really appear that often, and when they do, they get snapped up quite quickly. So I was really tickled to find this. It's in really good condition. One little flake of paint loss here on the stem of the apple, but otherwise in great condition, and that's going to stay here with me. The next item is a fun little piece of glass. This is art glass. Not sure of its age. It doesn't have a ground bottom. To me, I got thinking about this, and this is definitely like a folded piece of glass, or I don't know the exact right term for when you make this. You fold it over a mold of some sort in the kiln to make this pattern. Great little, almost amoeba-like inclusions with the blue and the white glass. It's in perfect condition, and it's really sweet, and I think it's colorful, so kind of a great addition to have for resale. Next, I found this great, again, little mid-century piece. This is a Shawnee pig farmer with a corncob planter. I know it's Shawnee, not because it's marked, because it isn't, but because there are quite a number of these available online to compare to. The pig farmer would come in several different colors of hat and overalls. This one happens to be a reddish burgundy color. Another bag item I got yesterday was this little perfume bottle, glass perfume bottle. It's very delicate. It has a stopper. The reason I believe it's for perfume is the style of stopper that's included. Cute, delicate little item. Next up, we have another bag item. A little, I believe this is not Blue Mountain Pottery, but another Canadian pottery. Maple Leaf Pottery Canada whale. Just a little art piece. As well as a nice piece of novelty, offensive, Japan marked little trinket dish or pin dish. I didn't actually understand it when I first read it. I read it to my significant other, and I'm like, what does this mean? It says, I'm holding a staff party of about 20. You can imagine what it's like. What he means is he's holding a woman who's aged 20. So in the Me Too era, this is hopefully not something we would tolerate. But it kind of speaks to, what we thought was humorous and funny in the mid-century. So hopefully that's going to just become an anachronism and not continue to be something that we consider funny. Next up are these pair of German bisque bookends. So when I saw these, they were filthy. And that is my excuse for the fact that when I got them home and washed them, I discovered that our flapper girlfriend had been decapitated and repaired. So still, would I have purchased them? They were $3. I probably would have still picked them up because they are rather unusual. They are from the 1930s probably. This set of bookends came in this color of green as well as a red I saw online. I wish I had looked at her a bit closer. However, she was so filthy, I don't know that I would have seen the mark from her beheading. So those are disappointing, but I think still really kind of a cool and interesting pair of bookends, and I'll keep on the lookout for them in the future, and hopefully maybe I'll find them without damage next time. This is a novelty mug with a bowl. It originally did come in a set of 4. It is marked hand-painted Shafford China. So Shafford China isn't high quality. It's a lot of novelty wear and products, which also means that it's often easily damaged and destroyed. This mug is in pretty good shape, has a little bit of chipping inside the rim. These pieces aren't hugely valuable, but they are, they are kitschy. They are representative of what was made and purchased in the middle of the 20th century as novelty wear. So I think I paid $2 for this mug. I still picked it up. Next, something that people are going to love or hate, as is the case with all clowns, 2 little bisque clown musicians. I don't like clowns. I picked them up because I know there are people out there that collect them. They are from Taiwan. They have stickers. They're not super old. I'd say, if I were guessing, I'd say 80s. They remind me of the kind of figurines that you could purchase back in the day, like at Zellers. So when I was a kid, there was always a shelf in the Zellers with all these little figurines on it, 1s and 2s of each individual one. And this style of pottery, this kind of bisque painted wear, is very reminiscent of what would have been available at that time. So I picked them up. They're not my thing, but I do know there are people who collect clowns. The next item here is also vintage. It is from the 1970s. It's really quite interesting. It's a nightlight, and it's in the shape of a pub. And the name of this pub is the Bull. And you can actually see inside the pub. I'm gonna light it up. And there are people and a dog and other elements inside the building. Hang on while I move things out of the way. One of the reasons that I knew it was likely vintage was the state of the cord. It doesn't seem to have the normal, it's an older cord style. So it does work. I don't think I would necessarily want to keep it plugged in all the time because of the cord condition, but it was good to see that when I got it home it did work. There you can see inside the pub. Pretty cute, actually. So these were made by, and the sticker is still on the bottom. It's upside down there, but I'll read it for you. It is Derek Fowler Studios Limited, England. So these are collectible. When I was looking for comparables online, I did discover that the pub is often named different things. So I saw one that was like the Rooster and different names for the pub. So a cute little vintage piece in very nice condition, other than the plug. Like I said, I wouldn't keep it plugged in all the time. But I really love that you can look inside this little building and see all these characters standing around. And the last item from the haul is these two pieces of needlework. Little Jack Horner, Mary Had a Little Lamb. I think they're sweet. I think if someone's looking to do a bit of a more vintage feel for their nursery or their child's room, those would be nice pieces. They're in pretty good shape. A little bit of staining on the Mary Had a Little Lamb in one spot by the lamb's tail, but otherwise in good condition. So that's all the items from the thrift haul yesterday. Now I'll just talk briefly about the pieces of pottery that I am going to also be putting up for sale. So there are some pieces of Brantford pottery here. Brantford is a place in Ontario, and Brantford pottery is a pretty well-known pottery that operated in the 1800s and early 1900s. So this piece here is a well-known pattern for Brantford. It's a piece I've had in my collection for quite some time because it's an unusual, or it's a harder to find form, pattern, and glaze color. And the reason that I'm parting with it is I was just recently able to acquire this exact picture in perfect condition. This picture is not in perfect condition. It has a lot of damage. Frankly, it's completely cracked up the entire spout. But like I said, because of its unusual form and glaze color, this was still a piece that I enjoyed in my collection, and I'm going to pass it along to someone else who collects Brantford maybe and wants an inexpensive entry into this form and this glaze. A couple other pieces of Brantford here that I happen to have duplicates and triplicates of are these two small pitchers, little rim chip here. When you're talking about Canadian pottery at this age, you're going to find condition issues. And when you're starting out collecting, you know, sometimes what you can afford is maybe not the perfect examples, but doesn't mean you don't enjoy them or want to have them. So as my collection of Brantford has improved, you know, it's allowed me to free up some of these pieces to pass on to other people that might be starting out collecting. This piece here is English. Interestingly, last night I was able to use the registry mark to determine that this piece was made on June 17th, 1880. These parts of the mark all individually mean different things: the month, the year, a day, and what it's made of, which is at the top here, which is IV, which means ceramic. So I actually had a really interesting time looking at that registration mark and determining the age and provenance of this piece of English pottery. So I'm going to be parting with it because it doesn't fit in my Brantford cupboard. A few other examples here that I actually picked up over the years, which, you know, I thought could have been Brantford, however, in the intervening years have learned that they aren't. But they're still lovely pieces of pottery. This example here, I really do favor the colors. And I will say the reason that I thought it could be Brantford at the time was because of the color combination of the glaze, not necessarily the form of the jug. This little picture, also very sweet. This picture here, the reason I think I thought this could have been potentially Brantford at the time was the patterning. This is quite a heavy picture, so I'm not sure of provenance. It might even be a mug because there is no spout now, I'm just noticing. It's a cool piece. It's in good condition for its age. I just don't really have room for it in my collection. And then finally, this really nice reddish pink and green pitcher, larger size. Some damage to the rim, as you could expect for a piece of its age, that just doesn't really fit in with my collection anymore. So that is the thrift haul from yesterday and the pictures. Swizzle has departed for the mat, where she is now, I think, eagerly watching for squirrels and birds to come to the backyard so she can meow at them. Thanks everybody for watching. I appreciate it. Let me know if you have any comments or criticisms or ideas, or want to just share what you found most interesting or cute in the video. And we'll see you again. Thanks from the Thrift Witch. Bye.